this class. So I'll do a refresher of what we were trying to do yesterday, as I realized most of us did not get the concept quite well. So I'm going to just cover that. So I had shared with you the data. So this is the sales data for a particular electronics company. So as you can see, let us first try to understand the data. That's usually the first step that you have to do when you are given any data set. In this data, we have the order date. So we had the order date, we had the region, we had the manager column, we have the salesman, that is the sales rep, we have the item, we have the units that were sold, we have the unit price, and we have the sale amount. So in this data, when we actually try to look at it, we want to draw insights from this data and present or do a report from this data that can be presented to the management so that it can enable them to make business decisions. Let me admit this student. Okay, welcome Ruthwin. So we've just started. So make sure that you have this data. Ruthwin, I had shared it via WhatsApp. So it is a data of a particular electronics company that is actually dealing with electronic products. So let us first understand the data, the columns that we do have, and see what we can do with this data. So as I had stated, we have the order date, that is the date in which the transaction took place. We have the region, we have manager, we have the salesman, we have the item, units, and unit price and sale amount. Out of this data, we want to do what we call data manipulation. So when you are given data, you might need maybe to add extra columns or maybe for a particular variable. So in our case here, we were given the order date, but we were not given the month, the year, and the day. So we have to extract now the month, the year, and the day from the date. So Excel actually allows us to use text functions in extracting the month, year, and day from a date. We had seen this yesterday where we were trying to extract the year, the month, and the day from a date. So I'll just repeat the syntax that we used to extract the year, the day, and the month. So let us first start by the month. Let me clear this. So add these columns if you don't have. So the syntax for extracting a date, the month from date is, so we begin by typing is equals to text. Then when you type is equals to text, it will bring you now the syntax that you have to follow. As you can see on my screen, the syntax is when you type is equals to text. The first syntax that you will encounter is the value. So you have to specify the value in which you are trying to extract the date from. So in our case, we are trying to extract the month from this date. That is cell A2. And then put a comma. So the format that we want the month in short form. So we have to put quotation marks, type M 3 times, then you close the bracket. So you see we've extracted the month. So let us autofill this. So one thing you should note is that when you want to get the name of the full month, you use 4M's. In my case, for example, if I want January in full, I'll put 4M's and then click enter. And now I can see my months in full, but I prefer working with months in short form. Minutes. So welcome, Keegan. So we are just continuing from where we were yesterday. So we were extracting the month from the date. So we are done with that. We want the month in short form. Now let us extract the year. Type is equals to text. So you type YYY in quotation marks. So that's 2018. We can at the same time extract the day. It's equals to text. The date value is A2. And type day. I want day in short form, so I type 3 days. So autofill this. So with this, I know the days in which this transaction took place. So that is it. That's how you can extract a day, the month, and the year from a date. So maybe any question up to that point on how to extract the month, year, day from a date?
Fred, on So after you've put the first, let the text, and let's just give an example, maybe the day, yeah?
Yeah.
You double click at the corner or single click so that it autofills.
So let me clear this so that I can illustrate that. So you just click on that cell. Don't double click, just left click once. Then go to the bottom right until you see this plus sign. Then you double click. It will autofill itself.
Or double click the plus sign.
Yeah, like
Okay.
this. Yeah, it
Okay.
autofills itself. Any other question? So make sure you know the syntax for extracting the month, year, and day from a date. It will actually help you a lot when you are actually dealing with time periods. You might be given data, for example, for sales maybe from a certain year, maybe for 5 years. So you will have to extract now the months, the years, and the days from the date that you've been given. So it will make you be able to manipulate it efficiently and draw meaningful analysis from your data. So allow me to. So that is it. We've learned how to use the text function to extract day, month, and year from a date. So I want us to try answering some key questions from this data. This will act as a refresher of what we did uh, previously. So this I have prepared some questions about what we want to find out from this data. So let us try applying various statistical functions in coming up with solution for these problems. So in this data that I shared with you, one of the questions that we would like to answer is how many transactions are there? So you've been given data, but you do not know the number of transactions that are there for the entire period. So when you encounter such a question, the first thing you should do is to figure out which Excel statistical function you can use. So the question states how many transactions were made for the entire period. So what clicks into my mind is the counter function. So because the counter function usually counts the number of non-empty cell in a range of cells, regardless of whether they are text or values. So with that, I can be able to calculate the number of transactions that actually took place during this period. So type is equals to counter. When you type is equals to counter, it will ask you for value 1, value 2, and so on. So we'll go to where we have our sales data. And then just highlight these rows up to bottom and close the bracket. So let us see whether. So we can see we have 43 transactions that took place. Confirm from your end whether you can do the same. So we have 43 transactions. So this is different from what we were doing previously. What we were doing previously when we were using the counter function, the data was in the same Excel sheet. But with this, the data is in a different Excel sheet. So you have to know how to work with multiple Excel sheets. So when you are working with multiple Excel sheets, normally make sure the syntax is correct. So let us evaluate this syntax, for example, for the counter function. So when you type is equals to counter, so then the next argument is the worksheet name. So when you see here sales data, it's this worksheet name here. So Excel captures the name of the worksheet that you are trying to reference. So, and when you are using when you are referencing a different sheet, always make sure that the sheet name is in quotation marks, a single quotation mark, and it should be followed by the exclamation mark.
Those ones you've typed or they've generated themselves?
It has just generated itself automatically. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Fred,
Yes.
kindly repeat that sentence. Repeat where where you've said that when you're working with different worksheets, you have to be careful. You what? I want to.
Yeah, sometimes when you are trying to reference different worksheets, you may end up, for example, not getting what you want. And the problem is usually maybe you've forgotten maybe to put the quotation marks where they are supposed to be and the exclamation mark. So when you are referencing, you must follow the syntax rule. So in Excel, you must follow those rules. So for this instance, when you are actually referencing the sales data sheet, you must make sure it is in quotation mark and it's followed by an exclamation mark. So you don't have to actually worry much about it, because when you select that sheet, Excel automatically picks the syntax itself for you. Are we together?
Though I'm trying to do that example, the way you've counted how many transactions were made, and I'm not getting 43.
So let me repeat that again. So type is equals to counter, follow along, counter. Then we want it to count from the sales data. So remember, what we are referencing is the sales data sheet. So we go to sales data sheet like this. You see, it has captured the name of the sheet that we are trying to reference, and it has actually put the quotation mark and the exclamation mark. So the next thing that we want to do is to highlight the range of cells that we want to count. So let us highlight cell ranges in column A. So just click there and press Control Shift down arrow to highlight the whole range of cells. Then you close the bracket. Are we together now?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, thank you. So we found that for this sales data that we were provided.
Excuse me, Fred.
Yes?
I'm not sure why I'm getting an error. My formula is the same as yours. Counter A, sales data. A2 to 844. But I'm getting an error. It's not giving an answer.
Maybe you can.
Sorry. Found it.
Okay.
Also, last one. The questions that you have on your screen, we don't have it, right?
Yeah.
You'll share?
But I'll share with you because the time I was sharing with you that Excel file, I had not prepared the questions.
Okay. Now.
Yeah.
Then in that case, I have a question.
Yeah.
When we are selecting the sales data, for example, I'm working on the same Excel sheet.
Yeah.
I don't have to move to another sheet because I don't have the questions. So how will I select the sales data?
So let us just illustrate that. For example, let's say you are in this sheet. Yeah. Is this what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So
let's assume that I'm doing my solution down there or at the side.
Okay.
At the far right.
Okay. So let us do it. Let us pre-space top row so that when we move downwards, we can see the top row. So it's a concept of pre-spacing also that you need to know. For example, when you are scrolling downwards and you want to keep an eye on the columns, you just have to pre-space the column or you pre-space the row. So you see, like the way this data is, I want, for example, when I scroll down, I do not miss to see my column headers, that is order, month, year, day, and so on. So you pre-space. So you select the row, go to view, then click on pre-space, then use pre-space top row like that. That was a by the way. So let us go to that. Let me do it sideways here. Is equals to counter. And then highlight this range of cells, Control Shift down arrow. So it has not highlighted all of them. Then close the bracket. So in this case, it will just highlight the cell ranges. That is from A2 to A44. So here we are working within that sheet itself, not from a different sheet like we were trying to do previously. So when you press enter, it will bring the value, that is 43. Have you understood? Hello?
I'm trying to work on it. Just a moment.
So is equals to counter, then select the cell ranges, that is from A2 to A44. Have you found the answer?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So there's a difference when you are working within that sheet and when you are working on a different sheet. So when you are trying actually to use a formula and the data is in a different sheet, so Excel will actually use a different syntax of indicating the sheet name that you are trying to reference. So it's actually good practice to know how to work in both circumstances, both when you are within the same sheet or when you are referencing a different sheet altogether.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I've used the same formula as yours,
Yeah.
but it has given me a date 2 stroke 12 stroke 00.
Okay, if it has given you a date,
Mm-hmm.
so click on that just once, left click, go to home,
Mm-hmm.
go to where we have custom, then choose number.
Custom is after?
So go to home. Hope you are seeing where my cursor is, where we have various symbols. You have the dollar sign, the percentage, the comma, and so on. I have clicked the down arrow. So here is where you can change the format of the data in your cells. For example, if that has given you a date value and you want maybe to change it to a number, just go to home, come up to here where we have various number formats. That is the number, the currency, the accounting, the short date, the long date, the time, percentage, and fraction. So you want it to return a number. So you are converting it from a date to a number. Just select number.
Do I need to highlight anything?
Yeah, highlight that cell that is giving you a date.
It's not functioning.
Okay, just share your screen. I see what you are doing.
So this is my screen.
Yeah. So go to
So
where
you
you
said, sorry?
okay, go to, after you've highlighted like that, go to home.
Mm-hmm.
Go to where you see you have a date. Click on that down arrow.
I click on the arrow.
Yeah, the down arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Choose number. Number, not currency. Number one. Yes. You can reduce it to 0 decimal place. So after you've
How do I do that? By deleting.
no, don't delete. You see just where you were, where I told you to click on the down arrow. You can see you see 3 zeros, yeah? Just click number. Yeah, click on that number, yes. So I'm saying now, still on that interface, you can see where we have 3 zeros. It's somehow yes, that you increase the number of decimals. Then go to the other one, next. That is decreasing the number of decimals. So just click on that. Decrease the decimals to 0.
That's okay, thanks.
Yeah, double click maybe.
A double click where?
Where the cursor is right now. Double click.
I've double clicked.
Now you see now you do not have decimals. Can you see your results now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 43.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how you can increase the number of decimal. So if, for example, you are getting a date and you are supposed to get a number, so you just have to format it into a value. So let me share my screen and show you something. So when you want to, for example, you are retrieving data or you have data in your Excel sheet, and maybe you want maybe it to give you a value instead, for example, a date, you can actually resort to change the format. So you will just come to where you have that value or where you have a range of those values. Click or highlight those ranges if there are many, or just highlight the value that you want to convert. So you come here to home. So under here, here is where we have the various number formats. So we have the number when you want to convert to a value. When you want to convert to a currency, you click here. When you want to change to accounting, maybe the short date, long date, time, percentage, or a fraction, you just have to select from these options. But if, for example, whatever you are looking for is not here in this interface, you come and click on more. When you click on more, it will give you all the options for the various data formats. So you can see here we have the number, we have the currency, we have accounting, we have date, we have time, we have percentage, fraction, scientific, text, special, and custom. So maybe what you are looking for maybe is not here, is when you decide to choose on custom. For example, let me choose custom. So when I choose custom, for example, I want to change the format of my date. For example, maybe I want my date to give me the day and month alone. So I'll come here and choose day and month. Or maybe I want it to give me month, day, and year. So I'll select month, day, year. So we can do the same here for order date and see how this is working. So let us select this date here, the order date. Let us select the whole column. So let us now change the format. We want it to give the day and month alone. So come to home, go to where we have date, we go to more number format, go to custom. So under custom, scroll to where you can see day and month, D-MM. So after you've done that, just click OK. So you can see we've actually converted the date format. Now it is not in that long day format. For example, you can see for example, cell A2, the date is 6th January. Cell A3, it is 23rd January. So we have just changed the format of the date. Maybe you might also want to change maybe to long date. That is month, day, year. Just highlight it. Go to home. Come here where we have custom. So choose where you have day, month, a year. So you maybe let us try the first one, this. So now you can see it has returned the dates in full. Have you now seen how you can convert a data value into a different format? Or any question up to that point? Are we okay? Are we okay, all of us, up to that point?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So we've just converted that. So let us continue. We've just calculated the number of transactions that are there in our data. Then let's answer the second question. How many transactions were made in June 2019? How many transactions were made in June 2019? What is your go ahead about this? Which statistical function can we use in counting the number of transactions that were made in June 2019?
Count if.
Yeah, count ifs, because one, we have two conditions here. We have we want to calculate the number of transactions that were made in June, and so one condition is the month. The month should be June, and the second condition is the year, which should be 2019. So let us try to solve this using the count ifs formula. So is equals to count ifs. So when you type is equals to count ifs, it will bring you the syntax, and the first syntax is criteria range 1. So this criteria range 1 actually applies, for example, which range of cells do you want to count? And then after you've selected the range of cells that you want to count, what is the conditions that you want to apply? Because COUNTIF is actually conditional. So let us try actually to count, for example, the number of transactions made in June, and we specify also the year to be 2019. So because the data that we are trying to refer to is in a different sheet, it is in the sales data sheet. So let's go to sales data sheet, where we'll have to select the criteria range. So just select A2 and then highlight so that we select all the cells, Control Shift down arrow. So we've just highlighted the range in which we want to count. That is range from A2 to A44. Now here we need to now apply now the conditions that we want. Now let's select the month. Month should be June. Put it in quotation marks. And then the year now. We go to sales data. Select what we have here. Press F4. Then specify you're retrieving data for 2019. Sorry. Hope it's bringing zero. There might be a problem somewhere. So let us just repeat writing the syntax. So it's equals to count ifs. So let's go to sales data. Let's select the month. Then put a comma here. And the month should be June. And then the year should be 2019. So it's returning a null value. Let me figure out where the problem is, sorry. go to where we have the month. Press F4. So the month is June. And then we go to year. (2019). So let us examine the data whether we have sales for June 2019 first. Month of June. It's only one. So let us try a different month.
Fred,
Yes.
I've gotten one.
I don't know why mine is not giving me the answer, but you use the same syntax.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the same.
Yeah, I
I've
think
also
the
used
syntax
the
is
same and
right.
gotten the answer.
You've gotten one, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with my Excel here. So, but that is actually the syntax that you should use. It's good if you've gotten the answer. So it's only one. So I'll just have to look into this later. So can we go to the third question? So the third question was, on average, what was the quantity sold in May 2018? What function are we going to apply here?
Average.
Average, yeah, average ifs. So the first thing that we want to see, how many conditions are there? So here in this case we have two conditions, that is the month and the year. So the month should be May and the year should be 2018. So let us try using average ifs and see whether we can find the answer. Is equals to average ifs, then the average range. So we are averaging the quantities sold. So average is, so we go to sales data. So the quantity sold here is in units column. This is the quantity sold. So select the entire range, put a comma, then create a range for month. Then we have to choose month. Press F4. So the month is May. May. So the other criteria is for the year, which should be 2018. We go to sales data. Here. Press F4. And then that is 2018. So that's the syntax that I've used. Try from your end. I don't know these cells. The syntax is correct. Just try if it's giving you an answer from your end.
I've gotten 61.
Yeah. What about the rest?
Will you
61 as well.
This is
will you
the
mind repeating the syntax?
okay. Let me just try doing it in a different cell. So let me do it here. So is equals to average ifs. Then it will ask you for the average range. The average range, you go to sales data where we have quantity sold, because that is what we want to average. So quantity sold. So press F4 after you've highlighted the range. So that is what the range that you want to average. So we want to set conditions now. So the first condition is for the month. So we go to sales data and then highlight the months. Highlight the months column. Then we want the month of May. The month of May. And then that is the first condition. So we have to go to the second condition, which is for the year. So the second condition for year, press F4. The year should be 2018. Yeah, now I've tried in a different cell, it's giving me the answer 61. Have you now seen the syntax, Keegan?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So we've actually found on average in the month of May, the quantity sold was 61. So that's the use of average ifs. Then how much revenue? The fourth question, how much revenue did the business make in August 2019? So which formula do you think, or which function do you think we can use for the fourth question?
I think it's some ifs. Something like that.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So it's some ifs. because you can see we have how many conditions? Two, that's for the month and the year. So the month is August and it's 2019. So is equals to, let's say is equals to some ifs. Then it will ask you for the sum range as the first criteria. So we want to find the sum for revenue. So the range should be for revenue. So we go to sales data, highlight where we have the sales amount. The sales amount. So now we have to set the criteria. So what we've just highlighted is the sum range where we are going to sum our values. So the first criteria is for the month. So let's go to sales data where we have month. Where we have month. Then the month should be August. I think it's in short form. Then the year should be 2019. So highlight this. Yeah. Here should be 2019. Here should be 2019. So that is the full syntax. So let's see, it will give us. So maybe try from your end. I'll try this in a different cell and see. Just try the syntax from your side. You gotten the answer?
I have 2832.
Okay. Let the others also try as I also try on my end. Yeah, I'm getting the answer as 2832. What about the rest?
Gotten the same.
Yeah, I'm happy that all of you are now finding the syntax more easy to use for these statistical functions. And now you're comfortable using them. So you will use the same concept in tackling the assignment that I gave out. So we done with the fourth question. So what was the quantity sold by Diana in July 2018? What do you think is the function that we can use here? what was the quantity sold by Diana in July 2018? It's count ifs. Yeah, because you can see here we are having three conditions: the agent, who is Diana, the month, which is July, and the year, which is 2018. Can you try out that and see if you can get the answer? I think we've used count ifs, so I'm sure you are familiar with that. So just find out the quantity sold by Diana. So is it really counting for the sum if? Because we want to find the quantity sold. We are not counting any item. So use some ifs. Yeah. Use some ifs to tackle that. For Diana. Have you found the answer? I'm getting 29. What about you? Winnie, have you tried? About Ruth?
29.
I'm getting a 0, so I'm work on it.
You are getting a 0.
A 0, but I'm trying to check. I'm trying to check where the issue is here.
So let us just do it together. So use is equals to sum ifs. So let's select the sum range. So the sum range just highlights column I like that. And then use F4 to lock that column. And then criteria range 1. We want it. Yes. You found the
When you're
answer.
selecting the no, when you're selecting the unit,
Yeah.
you select from the top or you select from the number.
So it is always advisable you select from from the top, the whole column.
Or the whole plus the name of the unit, that one, plus the
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so for example, when you select the whole column, for example, when we have additional data, the same data, but for example, we have many records maybe that you are adding into your data. So assuming you have this formula in place, and given that it fixes the whole column, it means whenever you add data, it will just automatically update itself. So you won't have to readjust the formula. So it will just be automatic. So now I usually prefer to highlight the whole column when I'm referencing data from a different sheet. Okay?
Yeah.
So let us continue with this syntax. So we've selected column I as the sum range. So column I is the units sold. So we have to set the criteria now. Criteria, a minute. So this is the sum range. This is the sum range that we need to sum. So we have to set the first condition for the agent. So Diana is an agent in our case. So we go to sales data, highlight where we have the column for salesman, the whole of it, and then press F4, F4. And then after you've pressed F4, you've just selected all the agents, but you need to narrow down specific to Diana. So you actually put the quotation marks because we are putting quotation marks because we are dealing with strings. So whenever you are dealing with strings, always ensure you put a quotation mark. So you write Diana. So that is Diana. So we are done with that condition. That is the first condition for the salesman. So we go to the second condition, which is the month. The month is July. So we go to sales data, press F4, and then we want specifically for July. So it's June, like that. Then we need to go for the last condition, which is the year. So go to cells, select the whole column, and then press F4. The year is 2018. 2018. So we are done with the three conditions. So let's see if it will actually bring an answer. So it's bringing an answer of 29. So what this implies, it implies that during the month of July 2018, Diana sold 29 products. Yeah. So are we now familiar with the syntax? Hope we are okay at that point. So let's go to this last question. That is, what was the total revenue generated in the East region under Martha in September 2018? So how many conditions are here? We have the region, and they have specified the region is East. Then we have the manager. So Martha is a sales manager. Then we have the month, which is September. And then we have the year, which is 2018. So let us try to answer this. So what this question requires is it requires us to use some ifs. So and then we specify these 4 conditions so that we can get the answer. Is equals to some ifs, and then the sum range, we are summing revenue. Go to sales data, select the revenue column, then press F4. Then now let us now set the criteria. So the first criteria is for the region. So we go to sales data, select where we have region, the whole column, and press F4. So the region is East. East region. And then we have the sales manager. So that's another condition. So we go to sales data. The sales data. So manager is Martha. And then we go the third condition, which is the month. So we go to sales data, select month, then we specify the month that we are trying to retrieve, that is SEP in short form. And then the year is 2018. Yeah. F4, that's 2018. So we are getting actually the revenue generated by Martha in the East region in the month of September 2018 is 936. Are we getting the same? Or any question up to that point? Okay, great. So I believe now you are in a good position to apply the various statistical functions in solving real business problems. So it just requires understanding of what you want to do and figuring out the right function to use.
I have a question.
Yes.
When we are calculating the revenue,
Yeah.
we are using the sale amount.
Yes.
I don't know why I've gotten a 0.
You've gotten a 0. Okay. And have you checked your syntax? If it's correct.
Yes, my syntax is correct. No. But let me try again.
Maybe try in a different cell.
Okay. So Fred, I just want to understand something. When we're using count is the number of, if there are 3 cells, it's 3. Yeah?
Yeah, the number of items. Yeah.
So sum is the total.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we are done up to that point. So how can we present this information in a more precise manner that when someone sees it at a glance, he can be able to actually see what he wants to see, that is derive business insights within just a glimpse of an eye. So the way we've just done this, you see, it's more tedious, but it was just for us to get the concept right before we can see how to summarize this data. So we normally can summarize data in 2 ways. So we can either decide to use graphs, or we can resort to using tables. So both ways are actually crucial when we're actually trying to present our data. For instance, when someone wants to know maybe the number or the quantity sold by for example, Diana in July 2018, you can just see it from a table at a glance. So with that, they normally say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So how can we just present this in a single canvas so that anyone can derive insight from this data easily? So with this regard, I prepared now a template that we can use to present this information in a more precise manner, but it has a lot of information that can actually enable management to make the business decisions. So from the Excel file that I shared, I have prepared a template for business performance. So with this template, when for example you fill data in this template, it will be very easier for you to present it maybe to your boss, and he may actually derive insight of what is actually happening in the data without asking many questions. For example, what was the sales that we made in August, for example, 2018, in September 2019? So presenting this canvas alone to the manager, it can actually be appealing to him, and he can actually derive a lot of information within a very short time. Yeah. So I just broke this analysis into into three. So where I wanted to analyze the business performance, I wanted to analyze revenue alone. And then I analyze also the quantity sold during this period differently. And also I analyze the product's performance differently. So under this template, the first thing that I wanted to analyze, I wanted to know the revenue that we generate monthly each year. So here you can see we have year. So, and you know that we have 2 years, that is 2018 and 2019. So with this, I can be able, for example, to see in the year 2018 January, this is the revenue that we generated. February, March, and so on. We can know the revenue that was generated at a glance. Same applies to 2019. Yeah. So let us just try to fill this table using the statistical formulas that we've just learned. So just navigate to where we have this sheet for business performance. And then we will go along as you try to fill it. So let us first select the years. So yesterday we learned about the unique function, which is used to derive actually unique values from a data set. So we'll make use of that function to retrieve the years that we do have. So is equals to unique So we go to sales data. So select here, Control Shift down arrow. Close the bracket. See, within a glance, I've gotten the years, that is 2018 and 2019. Can you do that? So type is equals to unique. And then go to sales data, highlight the year. So don't choose the year name, just the cells that contain the year alone. Have you done that?
What if your Excel doesn't have unique like mine?
Okay. You can go to sales data. Yeah. For example, copy this years column. Maybe go to the far right. For example, column N, M in my case, and paste it there. Sorry, paste it as values. Don't paste as a formula, sorry. Paste as values. So after you've done that, go to data, remove duplicates, remove duplicates, then click OK. So you see I've remained with two unique values, that is 2018 and 2019. Are you together?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you can just copy this, go to where we have business revenue performance and paste it. Yeah. Like
Okay.
that. So let us calculate actually the revenue we got in 2018 January. So type is equals to, so remember we are dealing with revenue. So which function can we use? Here we want to retrieve, we want to find the revenue generated in 2018 January. Sum if, isn't it? So type is equals to sum ifs. So the sum range is the revenue. Go to sales data, highlight revenue, that is sales amount. Then let us set the first condition. So the first condition is the year. Go to sales data, highlight the year like this. Highlight the year. So instead of writing 2018, you can just click on the cell where we have 2018. So I'll just click on. So I have selected, I have clicked on cell B4, which is the year 2018. So this is another way in which you can actually reference a cell. So when you are referencing a cell, when you are setting condition, you don't use quotation marks. Yeah. So in our case, remember when we were using some ifs the other time we were putting quotation mark. But at this point we are just referring to a cell that contains the year. That is cell B4, it contains the year 2018. So what you need to know after you've selected the year that you want to retrieve, in our case it's cell B4, we have to lock the row. Yeah. So when you want to lock the row, hope you see where my cursor is, just before after that exclamation mark, you put a dollar sign. Put a dollar sign like that. So we've locked the row. So when we want to lock a column, we will put the dollar sign just after B. So that is it. We've set the condition for the year, that is 2018. So we want to set the condition for the month. So let's go to sales data. The month, press F4 here. So the month is January. So as I won't write January and put quotation mark, I want to just to refer to a cell that contains the month. So that is January. So click on January. So after you've done that, we want now to lock the column. So locking the column, just after C, you put a dollar sign. Shift dollar sign like that. And then you close the bracket. So you see we've gotten the answer. So the revenue made in 2018 in January was 138,810. So one thing that you have to note after you've done this, you don't have to actually do for the rest of the sales, like for example February, March, April, and so on. You simply drag. For example, this I'll drag, and I fill everything. Yeah. So I want 2019. So this formula can be dragged downwards. So drag this down, then drag across. Yeah, we filled that. So when we want, for example, to know the revenue we generated in the month of February 2019, it's actually 45,500. Yeah. Are we together up to that point?
Excuse me, Fred, before you proceed,
Yeah.
on the syntax where we have sales data C, column C, how do you get to put the business performance?
Okay, this you can see where I have placed my cursor, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So business performance revenue is the current sheet that you are in. You can see it has picked the name of the worksheet that you are in. So in this worksheet, it is referring to cell B4. And cell B4 in our case is 2018. Yeah. So that is the condition that we are setting. So if we were not using a cell as a reference, we could put 2018 in quotation marks. But now here, the case is different. We are referring to a cell that contains the year, which is our condition. So it's cell B4 that contains the year 2018. Have you understood?
I'm just wondering because on mine, I don't get the name business performance. It just gives me the B4.
Okay, so maybe you can share your screen. I direct you how you can go about it. Let me stop sharing mine. Kigan, are we together? Ruth, you press your hand.
I want to share the screen, sorry.
Okay.
I'm not sure they can see it now.
Yeah, I can see it.
So you see, I followed the syntax, but when it comes to clicking here, it doesn't give me the name business performance revenue.
Okay, just start afresh.
Okay. So is equals to sum if.
Some ifs. Then go to sales data.
Sales data, yes.
Yeah, the sum range is column K here. Column K. Press F4.
Lock it.
Yeah. Comma.
Then, yes.
Go to business revenue sheet.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
Yeah, click.
I choose 2018.
before.
Before.
So when you are there, we have
Mhm.
to, we want this formula, I want when you are using this formula, you'll be able to pull it down or across and get the values for the different months. And when you pull it down, you get the value for the different year. That is 2019. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just lock B4. So you are locking now the row. So just after, yeah, like, so remove the other dollar sign before 4.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that one.
Then I do a comma.
And then that you've set the first condition, that is for the year. So go to sales data, and then highlight the column for month, that is column B. Press F4, comma,
Done.
comma. Go return to
And I go back to this.
business revenue sheet.
Select this.
And then now you lock now the, so remove
May I
now
remove
the,
this? Eh?
yeah, remove the dollar sign before C. Sorry, the dollar sign should be after C.
Oh,
So that it will enable you to drag the formula across. After C, the dollar sign after C. Then
so remove
delete
the
the
first one.
remove
Okay.
that one.
Then
Yeah,
I close. Eh?
close the bracket now. What is it telling you?
It's saying you've entered too few arguments.
Why is it giving you that?
Could it be? Why is this different?
Which one?
Why is this? Why is the $C3 different with the dollar before?
So it's different because you want to lock the column so that it remains constant when you are pulling the data across. For example, you see,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. So I don't know why I'm not getting an answer.
I think the syntax is just, I see you tried before to use the syntax and you got the answer.
Yeah, I got the answer, but once I dragged, it it changed the column numbers.
Yeah, so for example, go to cell D4. Go to cell
Yeah,
D4.
D4 here.
D4, D4, D4.
I don't know what I just did. Was it?
Sorry, just escape. I don't want you to delete the formula.
Okay. So when I go here,
Click on the formula bar where we have that formula. Where is it referring to?
so it's referring to. Let me just double click on this. I had chosen. I'd chosen
It's bringing you.
2018. That was before.
It is bringing those zeros because you had not locked the cells properly for the rows and columns. So when you drag the formula, so the reference cell changes. Yeah. For example, maybe when for February 2018, you see the reference cell was B4. Maybe it changed to to C4, and C4 there is no value for 2018. That's why it's giving you zeros.
Okay, it's okay. I'll try and go back to.
Just click on C4. I check something.
Yeah, I'm there.
C4. Let me see how you lock the rows. Just stop sharing. I show you. I illustrate something. So it's here. So let us try to understand the syntax here first. So when I say is equals to some ifs, so it will ask me for the sum range, which is the sum range is the revenue, which is in sales data sheet. So it is in column K. So that this is the same range, the sum range. Then we have to find now the first condition, which is the year. The year in sales data is in column C. So we select column C. So when you select column C, make sure that, what you should bear in mind is that you've selected the whole data. So you have now to specify which year do you want to retrieve. So you want to retrieve the year 2018. And the year 2018 is in business performance revenue worksheet in cell B4. Yeah. So in cell B4, make sure that you lock the row so that when you move to the right, it doesn't change. So make sure that after the exclamation mark and before just B, you put a $sign. Then you put a comma. So you are done with the first condition. You move now to the second condition, which is the month. So the month is in sales data sheet in column B. Yeah. So it's in column B. So when you select the whole of column B, it means you've selected the whole data in that column. Now you have to specify now which month do you want to retrieve. So the month that we want is in business performance revenue sheet, and specifically it is in cell C3. Yeah. So after we've done that, we have to lock C3. So we lock now the row so that we can move across. So you put that $sign immediately after C and before 3. And then you close the bracket and then you hit enter. Are you okay now?
Okay. Okay, so to move across, the dollar has to be after the column.
Yeah.
The column, and then the other one going down, it has to be before.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try later and I'll see whether it works.
Okay. Sorry. Fred, the dollar signs between. Okay, please share again.
Mm-hmm.
So the dollar sign at the start, the one for K.
Yeah.
Have you input them or you've
No.
input them? Or they've come?
For example, when you reference sales data, yeah, I do
Mm.
when you are actually highlighting the whole column, you
Uh-huh.
press F4. When you press F4, it inserts those dollar sign automatically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you press just F4. And then
You put the cursor at the top, then you press F4.
just after you've highlighted the column,
Mm-hmm.
just click on F4 or press on F4 and then you put a comma.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we now together? So with me, I can drag across to fill all the months. And I can also drag downwards to fill the years. Also, I can drag across, yeah, like that. So one thing that you have to bear in mind when, for example, you are referencing data in a different sheet, you must make sure what you are having here. For example, if it is Jan, in your sales data sheet, it should be actually be Jan and not January. So the data should be exactly be the same. Yeah. So when, for example, you change this to maybe January, here you will get zeros. You will get no answer here. Kigan, are we together, Kigan?
Yes, I'm trying to be with you. Nilipotea hapo kwa hiyo nini ya kwanza.
Nini?
And in the first part where that you were explaining to Winnie, I think. Yeah.
Hapa penye tuna insert hizi nini? The dollar sign.
Yeah. But I'll try to do what you said. I see if it will display the right thing.
Yeah, it should. It should just after you've highlighted the column that has data that you want to retrieve, you simply just immediately you've highlighted the column, just press F4. It will lock the two. So it's a shortcut, or you can just put the dollar sign manually yourself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Fred, just to reconfirm, for the C and the B, it is us to put the dollars. It cannot be auto-omitted, right? For the business performance revenue, it is for us to put it.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
by pressing F4 or by just typing it manually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can find the total revenue we generated in 2018. So total is equals to, so this is just the sum. This is sum. So sum, we highlight the sales that we want to sum, that is January to December. So in 2018, we generated a revenue of 87, is it 879,029 shillings? Then let's say the revenue we generated in 2019. Just drag this down. It will copy the formula. So it's summed all the revenue from January to December. Then just press enter. So in 2019 we generated revenue of 426,646. So we can say that the revenue declined in 2019 as compared to 2018, whereby you see the revenue dropped by almost 50%. Yeah, this is 426,000 and this is 879,000. So in 2019 maybe the business did not perform that well. So we have actually used self-referencing. We've referenced sales from a different worksheet, and we've actually explored all the options of referencing in Excel. So it's just you to put into practice. So let us see the cumulative revenue we got in January for the 2 years. So this is just is equals to sum, like this. So yeah, for the month of January in the 2 years, we got 161,810. So we can just drag it and fill the rest of the months. So that is the revenue that we got. In these months. So which is the best performing month? Is it April?
May.
Is it May? Yeah. May is the best performing month. So such insight is what actually is needed when you are actually writing your report. So you might say that May is the month that the business performed well. Then you can also mention the months that the business did not perform well. That is the months with the least revenue. So after we've done this, we can format this. Remember, right now they are like numbers, so you have to specify whether you are dealing with money or what are you dealing with. So just highlight this, go to home, go to general. Maybe you can change county. If we are dealing with dollars, you can choose currency, dollars, counting, like that. So that's the amount that is now. You see, the way we've presented this information, it's actually easy for someone to see and draw conclusion from this data very quickly. So whenever you are actually going to present maybe this information, maybe to the board meeting or the management, so you should present your information in such a manner. So maybe after we fill this, we can just take a snapshot of this and put on the PPT, yeah, so that we are able to actually communicate well. So the other thing was, or the next thing is for us to get the revenue of the sales agent that we want to know how the sales agent perform over the months. So we have several sales agents that sell these electronic equipment. So we want to see for a particular sales agent, for example, in the month of January, how much revenue did he or she generate during that month? Yeah. So I think let us do this to be so that we can stop here. Then we pick from tomorrow from here and fill the whole of this table. So we want to get the sales agent. So use the unique formula to get the unique agents, or to remove duplicates. Type is equals to unique. We are dealing with salesmen. You can see already within a click I've generated the names of all the sales agents. All the sales agents we've gotten their names. So let us try to calculate the revenue Alexander generated in the month of January. So we'll just use the sum ifs formula equals to sum ifs. What are we summing? We are summing the revenue. We are summing the revenue. Now here is where you are asking Keegan, just begin here because it's just following the same syntax as what we did previously. So I have gone to sales data worksheet and I have selected column. Okay, so where my cursor is, I simply press F4 to press the dollar signs. And then I put a comma. After that, I need now to specify the conditions that I want to be met. So I want to retrieve the revenue generated by Alexander in the month of January. So I'll go to sales data, highlight where we have salesman, like this, press F4, put a comma, then I want to now select the specific agent that I want. So I want Alexander. So after I've selected Alexander, I need to lock now the column now. So I put a dollar sign here, like that, and then comma. The other condition is the month. So I go to sales data where we have month, press F4, like that. After I've pressed F4, I specify now the month. The month is January, like that. So let me now lock the row. So just after C, let me put the dollar sign like this, and then close the bracket. Press enter. So we've actually gotten the revenue Alexander generated in the month of January cumulatively for the two years. So yeah, I haven't specified whether it was 2018 for 2019. Yeah, it's just cumulative. So after I've done that, I can just drag this formula across like this to fill all the months. I can also just after that I can drag this down to fill for other agents, Shelley, Louis, David, Stephen, and so on. Yeah. So as you can see, we have managed to actually get the revenue generated by each agent per month for the 2 years. So as you can see, there are some months a particular agent did not generate revenue, or they did not generate revenue. For example, you can see in the month of July, Louis didn't generate any revenue for the company. So Louis from June, July, August, September, October, he didn't generate any revenue from the to the company. So I think management should take proper action on Louis because he cannot account for why he's not performing for 5 consecutive months. Yeah. Such insight is what we need from data. So the syntax is just the same as the previous, just changing the columns for each particular field. For example, if it's year, you go for the year column. If it's sales agent, you go for the sales agent column. So let us see now Alexander, how much revenue did he generate in 2018, the whole of 2018, and then how much revenue did he generate in 2019. Then we find the total. So is equals to sum ifs the sum range is F4. So after we've pressed F4, we need now to specify condition. So the condition is for the sale agent, that's the first condition. So press F4 on this, but we actually need to get for a specific agent, that is Alexander. So let us lock like that. And then we want the year. Come here, select where we have year, press F4, put a comma, and then the year is 2018. Lock like this, and then close. So we've generated a revenue. We've actually calculated revenue for Alexander. So let us autofill this like that. Let's autofill like that. So we can actually see how these agents performed, or the revenue that this agent generated for the 2 years. So we can just find the total revenue for the 2 years is equals to sum 2018 and 2019, like that, autofill like this. So let us just find the total revenue generated each month is equals to sum of this. So just autofill to fill the rest of the months up to December. I think it also apply up to this point. So you can see when you try to compare this, for example, January, you can see the total revenue is 161,810. When we were computing for the one for the year, it was still 161,810, meaning that we are correct. So lastly, format this as currency. Go to home, under general, format as a currency. Yeah. So we can see now how these agents are performing. So we've given the monthly breakdown on how these agents are performing, and also we've given the yearly breakdown at the end of how each agent is performing. So and also the total revenue generated by each agent. So that is it. And it's just as simple as that. So you can imagine from just this data, you've been able to come up with such a template that can actually portray the business performance in a simple way. Yeah. So that is where the power of data analysis comes in. So I think we shall just to illustrate one more thing and then we call it a day. So we can format this. We normally have something we call conditional formatting. So we can conditional format the total revenue received in 2018 and 2019 for all these agents and the total revenue. So we can insert data bars here. So for example, let me select 2018, go to home, conditional formatting, go to data bars, select data bars, then select the one that you prefer. Let me go with this purple data bar. So with the data bars, you can actually see the information graphically, and at a glance you can know how each agent is performing. For example, in 2018, from this data bar, it shows that this agent called Alexander is actually performed very well compared to the rest. Let us do the same for 2019. Go just highlight the cells, go to home, conditional formatting, data bars, but let us choose a different color. Let me go with a green. So with this, we can see in 2019 there is this particular agent called David. David performed well in 2019 compared to the rest. But now overall, which agent generated a lot of revenue to the company? So let us insert conditional formatting here and insert database, home, conditional format, database, but let us now choose a different color. Let me go with orange. Overall, we can see Alexander performed well compared to the rest, followed by Louis. Yeah, but Louis, there are some months he did not actually perform well. But you can see in the month of December, he actually generated a lot of revenue, worth 47,000. And also during the month of May, he generated revenue of 107,820. So we can see now how we can explain the variation in his performance. Yes, there are months that he did not perform well: June, July, August, and September, and October also. But there are months that he actually performed very well compared to the rest. That is in May. It's May and December. So that is why he is ranked the second here. Yeah. So that is how we can apply database in conditional formatting. So, but we shall still cover the same in our next session. So today I want to end there, unless there is anyone who has a question. Or maybe a comment regarding how the session has been.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't have a question. Maybe just a request. For the VLOOKUP that we did yesterday, there were you didn't share any notes on that. Were there any?
So the VLOOKUP is among the lookup and reference function that we will cover in the course. So I just preserved it for the next lessons, but we can illustrate it maybe using the previous data that we had. Maybe if you are in urgent need of knowing the same.
No, I thought maybe you had forgotten.
No, we'll cover that.
Okay.
Hope today the session has been fine.
We're still learning. Quite interesting. We didn't know we could do this much.
Yeah, we need to learn practically. It's not just giving you the syntax or the formulas, then you don't know how to apply them to solve a business problem.
Yeah, I didn't know Excel had so many features. Now I know.
Yeah, it has so many, and it is so powerful. So each year Excel is being actually developed and new features are coming in each and every day. So you have to actually be up to date with it. And there are so many functions, you can't even cover all of them in Excel. And there is no any single statistical software that can replace Excel.
It's quite interesting. I love it.
Yeah. So maybe is it Winnie, you had a problem maybe with your version of Excel? Or who was it?
No, not really the version. I had a question during the day about the count ifs, but now because we've done today's examples, I'll try again tomorrow because I'm a bit, it's gotten a bit better in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So I just want to wish all of you a lovely night. We meet tomorrow. Goodbye.
Good night. Thank you.